Today's topic of discussion is why marriages are failing. So, divorce rates in today's society are at an all-time high. So, here in UK, right, around 40-50% of all marriages are ending in divorce. So, we're going to be discussing some key points in terms of why these marriages are failing and why people are getting divorced. So, first point is status. A lot of guys and girls in today's society are getting married for the wrong reasons. They're getting married for a status flex. They see it as an ego boost and something to brag about. So if you look at, for example, the girls' side, right? A lot of girls are going around and saying, oh yeah, look at me, I got married, I got a ring on my finger, this and that. They're getting all these weddings done, they're getting all these crazy outfits, you name it. It's all for a status flex. So they can post that all over social media. They can post that, oh yeah, I'm some queen, who recently just got married. I got married to some beta male, and I'm just going to rinse him, take all his money and everything, and then get him to submit. And then the beta male, what he's doing is, he's seeing it as, oh yeah, I got married, I got a missus, and this guy here, he's not even going out anymore. He's not even linking up with his friends, he's not trying to meet them. He's become more and more distant from his family. He doesn't want to talk to his family either. He's cut off certain relatives, you name it. This is what's happening with a lot of relationships. A lot of guys and girls are doing this. They're doing it because they feel as though if they push this out there to the world, if they get married, then they're going to feel like they are higher value in society. So that right there is a complete wrong mindset. You should be getting married to somebody from what the Deen teaches us. So from the Deen, it teaches us, right, that you should marry somebody based off of similar Deen level and, if the person's got good character. And that right there, when you get into marriage with that person, then you're going to have offspring, so children. So raise children who are going to be righteous children in society. So righteous members in society, guys who are going to be productive. So men and women, later on down the line. This is what it is. A lot of the couples you're seeing on social media, for example, a lot of these married type couples, they're the first to make any video when it comes to any type of activity they're doing together. If they're going out and about, go to restaurants, you name it, they're quickly taking videos. Oh, let's do this. We're doing a video together because we're both married, and then, we got to show to the world that we're doing this. We got a life. These people ain't got no life. All they do is show the highs of everything. They don't show when things are going bad. That's what it is. That's why we're living in a fake society today. Guys who are real, guys who are authentic, they're going to be keeping all of that behind closed doors. They're not trying to show any type of intimate moments with their partner, because that's just going to get evil eye. It's just going to get people looking at that couple for bad intentions, because that's what it is with a lot of people nowadays. A lot of people have got bad intentions. They've got evil intentions. They're not trying to have a good intention for you, and they haven't got that type of mindset, right, where they see you guys as people who are gonna do well. They don't want that. So the people who actually got a bit of brain cells, they're gonna be like, nah, why should we try and post everything? And why should we try and do it as a status flex? We actually should be doing it for the right reasons, because we both love each other. So with relationships now, a lot of people are separating and splitting up because when they go through difficult time periods, they got married for the wrong reasons. So with the previous generations, it wasn't like this. The previous generations, they were there because of commitment, through the highs and the lows. So there's going to be certain hardships that each and every single couple is going to go through. So with these women, right, the women are like, oh yeah, my feelings aren't there anymore. I don't feel like this is working out, and so on. Who said marriage was all about love? That's a fairy tale that the system's been pushing the whole time. If we look at the best example, which is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and we look at his relationship with his wives, he was the best man with his wives, but his wives certain times were having back and forths with him, where they were getting into arguments and so on. It was really stressful certain time periods for Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his wives. So there was highs and there was lows as well. So a lot of women in today's society, they wouldn't be able to handle a relationship like that. How he was literally going out on the battlefields, he was trying to spread the deen. He's got enemies, he's got people who are constantly trying to attack him, and so on. All that danger as well. This is what is going out. Obviously now you got a bunch of guys who they just talk rubbish on social media. They never ever do anything in person. But in those time periods, it was completely different. Those time periods, people were actually trying to kill you. So this is what it is. What I'm seeing is a bunch of programming in society. A lot of people are getting married for the wrong reasons. They should be doing it to please God, and doing it because it's a halal way to do it, not because of a status flex. So next point is compatibility. A lot of guys get into relationships because they feel as though they are in love. They love this person, or he's attracted to her, and so on. They're not doing it because of compatibility perspective. Now, each and every single person you come across, you should be measuring it based off of how compatible you are with that person. Because that right there is what's going to get you through the hardships. You both got a similar type mindset. She's somebody who's really feminine, you're somebody who's really masculine. And then she's got similar beliefs and viewpoints to you about life and about the deen. That's why the deen tells us to marry somebody who's at a similar type level to you. So let's say you're somebody who prays, your 5 prayers. You want to get a girl who's around that level. So whether she prays five prayers or sometimes misses them, for example, you want to get as close as possible to that. And another one is, let's say, fasting. So let's say you're somebody who keeps his fasts. You want a girl who keeps her fast as well. Let's say you're somebody who dresses modestly. You want a girl who dresses modestly as well. Wears hijab, wears modest clothing. Another one is, let's say you're somebody who's a traditional man. You got traditional ethics. You want to be the sole provider in your household. You're looking for a woman who's going to be prioritizing, supporting you in terms of your purpose, and then raising your children, and to be, a mum to your kids. So all these different areas that you're looking at it from. So that right there is a higher amount of compatibility. There's other things as well. So it goes back to it. Compatibility is one of the main things. That right there, when it comes to your core values and beliefs, they need to align. But if they're not aligned, then you're going to get into problems. So next point is leadership. A lot of these relationships are failing is because these guys are poor leaders. So whether a couple is divorced or whether a couple is still together, don't think for a second, right, that the couples that are together, that those relationships are successful. A lot of those relationships ain't successful either. Yeah, a lot of these relationships, right? The reason why I said failing is because these are talking about couples who are divorced and couples who are married as well. So both sets. Some of these guys who are in marriages are depressed, miserable. They're with somebody who they despise, and it's vice versa. The woman's with that guy and she despises him. And she's just trying to take his resources. She don't love him. You know, these guys here, right, in these relationships, a lot of these guys have got poor leadership. They're not able to lead a woman. So when a woman, for example, shows disrespect, she's not trying to cooperate, then you stop communicating with her. You apply no contact to her. So let's say even if you've got kids, right, you minimize the communication with her until she comes back, right, and shows correct behavior. Because you as a man, if you're somebody who's providing value to her and you're providing more value to the relationship, you're bringing more value to the relationship, she needs to respect that. Because if she doesn't respect that, go ahead, go find somebody else. Certain times you got to give a woman an ultimatum to be like, all right, cool. If you feel as though you can get better and you can do better, go ahead. Go find him. A lot of the times, a woman, she's going to look at that and realize that, right, I'm going to go out and about, and then these guys here, they've got bad intentions. They're just trying to fornicate with me. They're trying to use me. They're trying to abuse me. They're not providing value like this guy is. That's what it is. That's what happens with a lot of times with girls that I interacted with for marriage purposes. Let's say I'm speaking to them for marriage purposes, and then let's say a woman's not trying to cooperate. Tell them straight, look, go ahead, feel free to stop communication with me, because I ain't trying to communicate with you anymore, and go ahead and go find somebody else who's a man of value. Yeah, so when she goes out and about, a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, you name it, she realizes there ain't really many men available in society who actually, got a lot of things going for themselves. Then she wants to pedal back. Then she's like, damn, I missed an opportunity here. But that opportunity is gone now. That guy ends up moving on. So this is what it is. So when it comes to leadership, those are the guys with good leadership skills. Guys who've got poor leadership skills, they just become desperate and needy and just constantly trying to impress a woman, constantly trying, chase after her. Real men of value, they know full well what their value is. A woman who doesn't want to cooperate, doesn't want to comply, she's not trying to show high respect for him, she's going to stop communicating with her. You know what? Me and you, we don't get on. So certain times, right, that goes back to just being direct with a woman. A lot of guys are too scared to say this to a woman and tell her straight, look, this right here isn't going to be tolerated. If we're going to keep on going back and forth here and wasting my time and you're trying to take me away from my purpose, me and you are going to stop communicating. And a lot of the times when you've done that before as well with no contact, she'll calm down then. She'll realize, right, I can't be stepping on these boundaries here. Because as I said, women are emotional beings. Their emotions are constantly going up and down, up and down. So certain times they don't realize it. So once they've calmed down, they're like, damn, I actually had a good man here. So it goes back to just showing gratitude from both sides. So men need to show gratitude towards a woman for the value that she's bringing. And then a woman needs to show gratitude towards the husband for the value he's bringing. Because for a relationship to be successful, the man has to provide more value. So a woman has to show more gratitude towards him. And there's a hadith about this as well, which mentions this as well. It says how if there was someone to give sujood to, because sujood is like prostration to, then it would be the wife to the husband. She would have to prostrate towards the husband. Reason being is because that guy there is providing more value. He's somebody who's literally willing to die for her honor. You can't buy that anywhere else, with money, status, and so on. Because people are just focused on themselves. They only care about themselves. They don't care about another person. But when a man is actually married to a woman, he's going to do what's needed to make that relationship successful. So, final point is finances. So this one here, the reason why I saved this one last is because the other ones are mainly internal. This one here is external. So this one is important because a lot of guys are using their money in the incorrect ways. They're blowing their bank balances on cars, holidays, you name it, flashy lifestyle, and they're not using those finances to build an infrastructure for themselves, to be able to work remotely, to be able to have multiple streams of income coming in. These guys here become dependent upon one stream of income, and then they just blow all of that money on a flipping car. Rather than actually using the finances to be able to have a stay-at-home wife. So if we had more women in today's society who had the choice, would you rather be a stay-at-home mum, or would you rather be, working all day long every single day? A lot of these women would actually second think it and be like, you know what? I've got a choice here to actually have a husband who's actually paying for everything and taking care of me. But because of the programming in society, women are being conditioned that, you don't need a man. You don't need a man for anything. And then vice versa from the guy side of it. The guy's saying it as, when you get into a relationship with a woman, just both build together, both, get your money together, and so on. Those relationships there, right? Let's say a man's doing his 10, 12 hours, a woman's doing her 10, 12 hours. Yeah, you'll see how their relationship is going to fizzle out. They ain't really going to be spending time together. Because when the man comes home, the woman's going to be coming home and she's drained as well. So what about, let's say, if they have kids, who's going to be actually focusing on the kids and spending more time with them? Because both of them are working constantly, they're not going to be focusing on them. Hence why you've got a bunch of kids in today's society who are messed up. A lot of youngsters, they're both mum and dad, mummy and daddy have been going out just working all day long, just getting money, just to, fulfill their desires. We need to get as many holidays as possible. We need to get as many, luxuries as possible. We need to get a big house. Like any of these things actually make somebody successful. What makes a couple successful is actually prioritizing their deen. So we look at the best example, which is Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, how he lived the most basic life. But people are not willing to do that. What people want to do is, people want to get all these luxuries, and they're blowing their bank balances on that. And that's what the problem is. I'm not saying, don't treat yourself every now and then, but you shouldn't be that type of guy to just be blowing your bank accounts and have pretty much no savings. And you got all this designer clothing and all this other BS. And you're getting these haircuts every single week, like these beta males. They run into the barbershop every week, trying to get these outfits, trying to get the brand new cars, got flipping £100 in their bank account. I think it's like 50% of people in the UK have got about £1,000 of savings in their bank account. You can go research that. Look, £1,000, right, savings in UK. It's shocking. It's just pathetic. So just to wrap up, status. A lot of men and women are getting married for a status flex. They're thinking, we're married, we're supposedly doing well in life. That right there, right, is going to lead to their downfall, because they're focused on what other people think of them, rather than actually prioritizing what God thinks of them. So with the woman, for example, women are getting married for a status flex. Oh yeah, look at me, I got a ring on my finger. And then they're getting evil eye from all these other women. And those women who are single are telling them, oh yeah, split up with the guy. He's not doing this for you. He's not doing that for you. Just putting poison into her ears. And then before you know it, she ends up splitting up with that guy. So then when she split up with that guy, she's going out into the marketplace around all these other guys. And all these other guys are just trying to use and abuse her. And the next point after that was compatibility. A lot of couples today are not compatible with one another. They're just focused on external. So with a man, right, he's just trying to focus on, trying to get a woman who's as pretty as possible. And then a woman's just trying to get a guy who's got as much money as possible. Those things there are all superficial. Because if, let's say a woman, her looks fade, which all women, it happens to all of them, as they get older, as they have children and so on, that's all going to go. And then he's not really happy with her anymore. He starts having back and forth arguments with her. And then let's say that man, right, he's going through difficult time periods. He's lost money, he ain't really making income and so on. And then the woman starts to see it as, this guy here, he's just a bum. He's this and that. And then before you know it, she's splitting up with him. But if they were compatible in other areas, let's say related to deen, related to spirituality, related to similar values and beliefs in other areas of life, when it comes to mindset, when it comes to, let's say, he's a traditional man, she's a traditional woman. They both complement each other's lives. That right there, they're really, really compatible. And the next point after was leadership. Guys today don't know how to lead women. They're constantly going back and forth with each other, constantly arguing. The guy's always losing his temper, just can't control his emotions. There's other guys, right, who are literally have low EQ, that they are just constantly getting disrespected and violated on a day-to-day basis. This is what's happening with a lot of relationships. A lot of relationships, guys have got poor leadership skills. And the final point after that was finances. Finances right now in today's time is playing a major role, is because everything's becoming more and more expensive. The cost of living is rising. Especially here in UK. It's overpopulated, overflooded with people. That's what it is. There's not enough homes that are being built. Rent prices are through the roof. Only fortunate people, a set of people, are able to actually live in London. Now, a lot of people are moving out of London now, because it's becoming too expensive. And then that's affecting relationships. A lot of people are not even able to get into relationships because they're not able to have accommodation for themselves. And then both the man and the woman, they're both working to make ends meet. So guys who are traditional men, guys who are actually prioritizing purpose and mission, guys who are not blowing their bank balances on flipping cars and all these holidays and all these outfits, designer clothing and all this other BS. Those guys there, these are the type of guys that end up doing well, because these guys here are not blowing their bank balances on none of that BS. They're trying to build the infrastructure for themselves. So then when their wife comes into the picture, or if they're both married together, whichever it is, that right there is going to create a good household. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.